Today, I want to talk to us about something simple yet profound because if you lack an understanding of what we are about to elaborate on here today, you're really going to be a drifter in life. You're just going to be loafing about or loafing around or whatever expression is correct as regards to that. But this young man, he had been driving for hours upon hours on an urban city, and he was getting nowhere. He was going sprinting from block to block, going from street to street, passing people, surpassing everything, just constantly moving. He was busy with activity, getting nowhere. And then he was all of a sudden stopped by a policeman, and he was asked the question, "Young man, where are you going?" And at that moment, as bizarre as it may sound to you, this man, he was facing so many things, busy with his mind was busy calculating a lot of things. He at that moment realized that he actually wasn't going nowhere. He was just driving just for the activity. He just realized he wasn't really going anywhere. And then he made up his mind at that time, taking upon the advice of the policeman, to go back home. I guess here's what I'm trying to say. There are many of us out there who are living purposeless lives, right? We are busy doing things, moving arbitrarily and inadvertently to nowhere. We are busy with activities, arriving nowhere, busy with motion, arriving nowhere. And that's not the way you want to live your life, because here's what you want to understand. There is a purpose for every existence. There is a reason why you were better. There is a reason why you are here at this time, in this moment, in that geography, in that surrounding, in that family, in that country, in that continent, on the earth. There is a reason why you are on the earth right now. And you want to find that reason. And believe me, I'm saying this from the threshold of my heart, because nobody knows what a baby is capable of, right? I mean, the person who baited Abraham Lincoln, the person who baited all the great leaders we have today and the ones we're celebrating that have transited, as babies, nobody knew what they were capable of becoming. And it doesn't appear what you are capable of being right now. And you wouldn't want to aim short of who you could actually be. You wouldn't want to live your life drifting, accomplishing nothing, because you didn't take out the time to stipulate what it is that you need to achieve. It is important that you start living a purposeful life. It is important you start knowing where exactly you're going, because if you don't know where you're going to arrive at anywhere, and anywhere is just going to be good enough because there was nowhere anyways that you were going to, right? So but it is important that you take out that time. Can you imagine that little time with that policeman, right? That was the next defining factor for the young man. He just realized that, okay, I wasn't going anywhere, but then I can actually turn my vehicle right now and go back home. And that, with that image in mind, with the image of home in mind, he began to go towards a direction that was leading him to a destination. So my question to you right now is, what is the purpose for your life? Have you even thought about it, right? Have you even made out the time to think of it? What exactly am I better to do? Why was I born? Why am I on the earth? Why am I in this family? Why am I in this place, in this geography? Why am I in this sphere of influence? Why am I in this strata of influence? Why am I here? Why right now? Can you imagine that? The probability of you being bettered right now, the probability of you being alive right now is about 400 trillion to 1. Not 100,000 to 1, not 10 to 1, not 200,000 to 1. About 400 trillion to 1 that you are. It's not just a mere coincidence. That's what I'm trying to say. That you're around right now, that you're living right now. I mean, just look at it. Life is a gift, right? And you want to make the most of it. And the only way you can make the most of it is if you know what is the most to be made of it. And it's important that you take out the time. Many of us are just busy with activity, and I get believe me, the life that circumstances are trying to give you right now might not be the life that you are meant to live. The life that the people around you right now are trying to stipulate, to draft out, to adumbrate for you, might not be the life that you are supposed to live. But if you do not program yourself, life is going to program you anyways. So you want to take out the time to program yourself. You want to take out the time to sit down, to count everything and know exactly where it is that you are meant to go, who it is you are meant to become, what it is that you need to do, who it is that you need to ally with, to associate yourself with, to strive, to fulfill the purpose for which you were bettered. Because a mango tree does not eat its own fruit, right? You will never see a mango tree eating its own fruit. Every mango tree's fruit is being consumed by everybody else except the mango tree. So the purpose for your life right now is for everybody else except you. And I mean that in the raw sense. Everybody else except you. Because here's what you understand. If you do not give yourself away, you will never be fulfilled in life. So you want to pour out yourself, because it is we derive joy. In fact, the happiness in life really is not from our own personal achievements. It's from knowing that because of our existence, people are getting ahead in life. There is value in us, right? So you want to make yourself a person of value. And that can only be if you make up your mind to start living a purposeful life, all right? So this young man, I'm being reminded of a young man. He got out of his car. He is, at this time, he's furious. He's literally angry at everything. He just jumped out of his car and he burst the wheel screen, burst the tires, everything. He literally destroyed his car. And here's what he said. He said, "I am tired of driving this car for the past 15 years now, and nobody else will ever have to drive it again." Now, I know that might sound funny to us, and that might sound extreme to some of us, but there is a certain degree of conviction you have to have if you are going to make a reasonable amount of influence, to make a reasonable amount of absence from distraction, right? You need to kill some things totally if you are going to have the opportunity, if you will ever have the opportunity to strive to fulfilling your purpose, the reason for which you were bettered. And one very important thing I want to talk about is discipline. Because the absence of a purpose, really, there is no need for discipline. If there is no vision, there is no need. I mean, why should you starve yourself for nothing, right? Why should you read for nothing? Why should you go to school and attend some boring lectures for nothing? Why should you have to listen to somebody or read materials or consult people or take steps or meet people or associate with people for nothing? There is no need for discipline if there is no purpose, right? So that consequently tells us that purpose begets discipline. So when you get a purpose, when you have a purpose for your life, you instantaneously get that mentality, that proclivity of having to stipulate a discipline. Because here's what you want to understand. There are all things really in life are permissible, but not all things are expedient. What that means is this, that you are really free to do everything you can. Whatever the mind of man can conceive and believe, it can really achieve. It can actually do. But not all things that you can actually conceive and believe are meant for you to do. And there are disciplines that are meant for you to observe, for you to be fit to function in your area of influence, right? There are things that are meant for you to do, and there are things that you are meant to avoid. But if you do not have a purpose, right? If you do not know exactly why you should avoid those things, or why you should engage yourself in that rigor, why you should have to consult materials, why you should have to read, why you should have to expose yourself to more people, why you should have to make that call, why you should have to build that business, why you should have to stipulate that educational, whatever you want to do. If you do not have a reason why, then you will not bring yourself to having to discipline yourself. And let me define discipline here for us quickly. Now, discipline, in the lamest way you can ever put it, is this. It's your ability to do what you need to do when you need to do it, either you feel like it or not. So you are self-disciplined to the extent to which you do what is needed to be done when it's needed to be done, even if you don't feel like it. If you feel like it, you do it. If you don't feel like it, you do it anyways. Why? Because of the necessity. So there are restrictions, really, that let me define discipline in another way now. Discipline can also, you can actually define it as self-imposed standards and obligations that is motivated by a desire greater than the alternatives. Okay, let me reiterate that so that we get it. You can define self-discipline now as your ability to place standards and restrictions or obligations on yourself because of a desire that is greater than the alternatives that are flashing before your eyes. So you are size 15 or size 25 and you're saying, I want to become size 15. And you know that for you to do that, for you to achieve that, you need to cut down on your diet, right? You need to cut down on the protein you're consuming. You need to cut down on activitylessness, right? You need to cut down on being dormant and redundant, wasting away time. You need to cut down on being inactive. And that goal of becoming size 15 is going to be the basis for which you can discipline yourself to avoid all those things that I've stipulated, all those things that I've purported, I've mentioned. The basis for your discipline really is your purpose. So you being able to place standards and restrictions on yourself, obligations on yourself because of a desire that is greater than the alternatives that are flashing before your eyes is what self-discipline is. And you want to employ that while you're going through to your purpose. And it's important. You know why? Because here's what I'm looking at. You are there in Zimbabwe. You are there in South Africa, Cape Town, South Africa somewhere. You are in Europe, in America. You are in Benue State, Nigeria. You are in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. You are somewhere in wherever you are, in the forgotten corners of the world. In fact, there are so many people depending on you. Because in your success lies the success of others. It is actually a relay race. The world we live in really is a relay race. And these are very profound principles I want to talk to us about. Because if you do not understand that the world is a relay race, you're going to think you're running a sprint race. No. There are people waiting for you to pick up the baton, to run with it. You picture in a track and field, right? In a racetrack, in a relay race, right? So the first person, there might be 4 people in that race on the same team for the same reason. But the 3 people ahead are actually at the mercy of the starter, the person who is to begin the race. So you can see them on the field itching. Sometimes they're even jogging, trying to get themselves fired up. But they're really at the mercy of the one who is holding the baton. And you right now are holding the baton. You know why? And you know how I know? Because you have the time to listen to me right now. The baton, not many people have time for, and I commend you greatly, because not many people have time to develop themselves, or they don't really see the need to develop themselves and consume the level of information you're consuming right now, to motivate their minds, to get their minds thinking rightly. Because whatever the mind of man, not the body of man, is willing to do, the mind of man conceives. It is in the conception, in the mind. So you literally know right now that there is something meant for you out there in the universe. But it is important you understand that you can't keep delaying people's destinies. You can't keep delaying those people who are itching, those people who are waiting for you to become a medical doctor. The unborn baby that is saying to the universe that, doctor, don't give up because of me. I mean, if it is CS that is going to be performed for me to be bettered, you are going to be the one to perform it. And if you give up now, I might die. There are people who are waiting for you right now. There is somebody out there who is waiting for that leverage to just know that this person did it, I can do it. And you can spring up thousands of life. You can bring life to thousands of dead dreams just by making the discipline. And you want to understand that you can really do anything you choose. You can make up your mind to do any discipline, build any dream, have any career, pursue any purpose, pursue any ideal. It is all left to you. But you want to make sure that you first sit down and know exactly where you're going to, and understand that there are many people to whom, if you do not take the step, if you do not sprint, if you dare delay, they might just itch on the field, and it might sound bizarre to you, but they might just give up. And you wouldn't want to be that person that killed those destinies, those dreams, those ideas, right? There are people waiting for you to do what you're supposed to do, and make up your mind to be the person to do those things. And it's important you get this, that life is a gift, and with this gift comes a responsibility. And the responsibility you have as touching this gift is to pour out yourself in totality. You are to leave none of yourself remaining to yourself. You are supposed to empty yourself to the benefiting of every person you come across. That might sound too responsible and too demanding, but it's true. I've made mention of the fact that a mango tree doesn't eat its own mango. The mango tree doesn't eat its own mango. The tree, the fruit from the mango tree is meant for everybody else except that mango tree. Now, the mango tree is the one that is connected to the source, to the ground, that is being held up, buried deep, the roots buried deep into the ground, sucking those nutrients strenuously for those fruits, those branches to receive their nourishment and get those fruits that are so desirable to the eyes. But except that mango tree is willing to go through that process entirely, there is no possibility of you and I enjoying the mangoes that we enjoy, right? So there is a price to be paid. Ultimately, that's what I want to say. There is a price to be paid. And disciplining yourself to do what you need to do when you need to do it, either you feel like it or not. So I believe we've succeeded in talking about 3 principles. First of all is that you need to stipulate exactly where you're going to. And secondly, you want to understand that there is a discipline to be employed if you are going to get there. Not every road that is on the highway, not every diversion that is on the highway is meant for you to go to. You go on the road, there are many diversions. There is a road to the left, there is a road to the left. You go another mile, another road, another branch of roads, but not all of them will take you to your destination. And here's what you want to understand: your direction determines your destination, and that's vice versa, because your destination also determines your direction. So you want to get that in mind while you're going towards your ideal, while you're living your life, while you're exploring the reason why we are here. Why is there life? These are very deep questions, right? Why is there life? Why is there human consciousness? What is the essence of life itself? And if you say the essence of life is for living, then what's the essence of living? Right? And somebody who says the essence of life is to make impact, then what's the essence of making impact? These are deep questions that you need to answer for yourself. And believe me, these are not questions you just want to shake off. These are not questions you just want to live on the knowledge of somebody else's answer. You want to answer those questions for yourself, and you want to know the reason for your life, and you want to know what is necessary for you to get to where you're supposed to go to. But ultimately, by all means and by all chance, righteous and right, get there. Do something with your life. I mean, what's the point of just drifting? What's the point of life is too short to waste? I mean, I read somebody saying that life is too short, eat the desserts first. But yes, what you want to understand. So you eat the desserts first because you think life is too short, and then you get sick, and then you die before the time that you could actually live for as long as, right? So there are disciplines to be employed. You get what I'm saying right now, that life is too short, eat dessert first. So you eat dessert first, you get sick because of the sugar that you have accumulated in your body system, and your body can no longer function properly as it's supposed to function. And then you get sick, you die earlier than you should and could actually live for long, but you forfeit that possibility, and you just jeopardize your health. It's not wise to do that. It's not wise to live that way. And very importantly, and lastly, I want to say this to us, that believe me, there is something waiting for you outside there. There is so much locked up inside of you. There is so much locked up inside of you. And if only you can just sit down and find them out. What are the possibilities for your life right now that you're not even aware of yet? What are the things that you shouldn't let your situation define you? You shouldn't let your circumstances. The life that society is trying to give you right now is not your life. The life that circumstances are trying to give you right now is not your life. The life that you might be somebody staying with, with your biological parents, and then you're going through a process of suffering. You may call it that. I would like to call it training, but you might be calling it suffering. And all things do not seem right. All things do not seem well. All things do not seem futuristic for you. But don't give up. You know why? Because your story right now is either going to be one of two things: a testimony or a warning. A testimony or a warning. So make up your mind. Know exactly what you want for your life. And don't let your situations define you. As you're going towards your ideal, as you're facing all those ordeals, have a settled conviction of what you want to achieve and make up your mind to achieve it. Thank you for your time. And if you find something resonating in your mind, please comment below, because there are so many people waiting for the feedbacks that they'll be seeing on the comments, and yours could be a blessing to somebody somewhere in the far and forgotten corners of the world. All right? And please do have a nice time and take care of yourself.